Technique number 9 of yellow belt is attacking mace. So attacking mace is again against a step through right punch or a very deep punch. In some ways, obviously, we want to, as we said with beginners in the past, teach a very deep step through, allow them time to deal with it. This is one of those techniques where I personally have always questioned it until recently when I had discussions with people. But essentially, we step back. Now, there are people who will step forward, but when we teach it, we do it as a step back. The problem with this is if you're doing a left inward block against a right straight punch, you are outside the arm, okay? You're not inside in this case. And by being outside the arm, the rule has to be you should be above the elbow, because if you're below the elbow, you allow for a bend. So by rights, an arm should be blocked here if we're on the outside of the arm. My worry with this is as I step back, the concern here being I'm closer to the wrist by stepping back because I'm taking myself longer against that punch. So what I was then taught about this is, well, if the person is taking a very deep step through, by right, you stepping back and blocking, it will slide towards the elbow. So you're essentially guiding that across your arm, and that potentially gets you to the elbow here as well. Big topic, big talk on it as well. Another way to think of it is if that punch was coming in off a lead, it would be a lot shorter to deal with, and therefore it would be closer to you. So therefore, your block might actually affect the elbow instead of the wrist at this point. Here, anyway, the technique goes, as we take our step back, we have our block, our left inward block here. Our chamber position we come to is at the pec level. Once we do that, we're going to shift to a forward bow and hit a straight punch. And we're going to keep our cover up here for obvious reasons that there is still potentially an arm here. From this point now, we are going to come up along the arm, grab the wrist. We're going to hit a roundhouse kick. And then as we land, we're going to pull and punch here. Okay? So again, we're going to take our step back. We're going to drop, hit our punch going forward, secure on the arm, and then grab the wrist from here. Roundhouse kick. We're going to land, and we're going to hit a punch into the kidney from here. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it then is, as I've seen in some places, as you advance, and again, you want to be ready to be able to advance in this line, stepping in on a punch, is to essentially cut that line and hit the punch at the same time. So this becomes more about regulation of timing, changing slightly the way the technique functions in terms of the timing and the delivery that you're doing. But again, you might take a step forward and hit together. So this becomes more of an active parry, leading on to the punch. So that's your car crash analogy right there, okay? Other things that can happen is if I hit the body and the person essentially rounds because I've hit them in the ribs, the groin now becomes an open target. It's not necessarily that I'm hitting in the stomach at this point. So again, once I hit from here, I can now grab, and this becomes a straight kick to the groin as opposed to a roundhouse. The technique will finish the exact same way with your pull and punch on this one as well. We check and we leave.